Hello, Michelle. Thank you so much for being on the new mid.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Michelle. I'm so excited to be here and talk to everyone about my favorite things.
I know. Well, you have been a makeup artist in Hollywood for a long, long time. You are an
Yeah,
amazing artist, makeup artist. Can you tell us
thank
a
you.
little bit of your background?
Sure. I feel like I've almost done every facet of this industry. I started out as an actor. I was a theater major and journalism major. So I started out with news and theater, a lot of theater. And that's where I essentially found my love of makeup because we had to do all of our own makeup in the theater world. And so, right when I graduated from college, I moved out to California and was acting, and I had to do my own makeup on camera. And I never wanted to waitress because I felt like I was too clumsy to waitress. And so I said, how else can I make money? And I was really good at doing makeup. And I got thrown into doing makeup for fashion shows right away. I just met the right people, had the right kit. And my friend Celeste and I, who's also an amazing makeup artist, we started working fashion shows and doing makeup. And we made a great living doing it. But as my love grew for being able to do makeup, I mentored under a really incredible makeup artist for at least 5 years, where I assisted her, and she was a huge movie and television and print and couture makeup artist, makeup and hair. So it's really learning and assisting and actually working in the environment that really helps you to gain the knowledge and experience that you carry into today. And then after I became independent, um, I started working on a lot of music videos and the Green Day special, Foo Fighters, um, and then I moved into America's Next Top Model and the Tyra Banks show for 5 years, that was an awesome experience. I feel like because they're such a wide variety of guests on the Tyra Banks show, we did everything from supermodels to extreme makeover. I also worked on extreme makeover as well. But on Tyra, I won an Emmy for the Beyonce episode. And that was for her House of Darion. We did an incredible fashion show that it was kind of hard to compete against us and against that makeup going for daytime TV. So it was exciting to have an Emmy, and it really helps to boost your career in that sense. And
Well,
then from there, I moved.
congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. From there, I went to Chelsea lately for almost 9 years, which was all comedians, all comedy sketches, just a joy. Probably one of the best jobs I've ever, the fondest memories. Really awesome. And now I'm currently on Home and Family on the Hallmark network, and I love it. It's right at Universal Studios, and so I've been here for about 5 years. So I've been very lucky and blessed to have long running TV shows.
Well, that is great. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your expertise with us because in midlife, we would love to use makeup to just help us feel more beautiful. So,
Yes.
our skin is changing,
Mhm.
there's definitely different needs. So, what would you suggest for us? How do we get that Hollywood glow?
There's so over so many years, it's been about 20 years now that I've been working in this industry. And I have literally tried everything under the sun. And who doesn't want to glow? Who doesn't want to have that beautiful glow? No one wants to look dried up. No one wants to look dry. Even though for TV, sure, we pat the T zone, we powder those areas, but you want to glow. And of course, the glow comes first from within. And when you take care of yourself and eat healthy and lots of water and take care of yourself, that is your number one glow. But there's certain products that I found that I literally, Michelle, cannot live without. And there's a couple things that you can do to kind of increase that glow, especially if you're going to a special event or just want to have that daily beautiful glow. This is a roller, and it's from Retrove. I feel like this is my secret weapon. Retrove it's just the most beautiful product that I've ever tried. And out of all the products I've tried, it's my favorite is the intensive replenishing moisturizer. And it's a serum and then the facial moisturizer. But what I do first, if I feel really tired, is you take this little roller, and you're probably thinking, what is this? It's a little roller. And for those of you who can't see it, it just kind of looks like a mini tiny roller, and you roll all over your face, and it kind of gets the oxygen going all over your face that allows the skin to glow and open up and be able to take in the moisture. So Retroway is, if you want to glow, they have a body product, they have incredible moisturizer, and the oil serum, which is what I love. I put it on, I call it my secret weapon with all my actresses before we do any kind of makeup, because I usually start with brows to do makeup because it's the frame of your face. I'll put a little bit of the replenishing, hydrating moisturizer, and just let it soak in, and then they're ready for makeup. And it just goes on so beautifully. But that's my favorite thing that I've come across. So if you haven't checked it out or tried it, Retrove is just beautiful.
Well, I can also put it in the link. So in the notes for this show, I'll have a link to it.
Especially this product is geared towards 40 plus, and it's just, every time I use it, I'm like, people need to have this. Especially, what it's similar to? I don't know if any of you have ever had an oxygen facial. That's what Retrove is. It's like putting an oxygen facial on your face.
Oh, that is so great to know.
It's great. And then also what can also help with your glow is your foundation. And you want to make sure you're not using, unless obviously if you're extremely oily, that you might want to change that plan. But my favorite foundations that I love are hydrating foundations. I love Armani. Armani has a great hydrating foundation, and I love the Kevin Aquan. Kevin Aquan is fantastic. I use that a lot on the show because it's glowy, but it's not, it won't be too much, and it holds up. It has great staying power. But every person will have their own personal favorite product. And I think it's important to find yours and to find what works for each individual. And that's what really will bring out the beauty, is kind of experimenting and find out what works. Because we do it with our actors all the time, where we'll experiment and we'll try things that, sometimes they don't work. Sometimes in 2 hours, they're completely dry and their skin soaked up this type of foundation that we tried. So it's kind of trial and error of what works for a certain individual, because everyone's different.
So now, do you recommend liquid foundation over powder foundation, or like you were just saying, try and see what works?
It's definitely a preference for the individual, but my personal preference is a liquid foundation. And we live in California, and I also feel like a liquid foundation adds a shield of protection in addition to your moisturizer. And it really does protect. And you can go as sheer, or you can build to get a heavier coverage as you want. But I definitely prefer the liquid.
Now, do you wear an SPF all the time as well? And is your SPF
I do,
your moisturizer or your foundation?
I do it in my moisturizer. I have an SPF in my moisturizer, and some foundations have it. That's not my number one ingredient that I look for in a foundation. It's really just how it goes on and what it does to the skin and how it makes the skin look. That's my number one thing.
Okay.
Is having that, but especially California. It's sunny all the time, even driving. So we try to do what we can to have that extra protection. And that liquid foundation, I just love just even a tinted moisturizer adds a coverage. So even if you're running errands, going to the grocery store, I feel as though you should always throw something on, because as our skin ages, Michelle, you're prone to get spots from the sun. You're prone to get, but if you have that extra layer of foundation, anything helps.
Oh, that is great. Now, do you think you should put powder on top of that, or is your foundation good enough where you don't need to have powder?
This is a preference also. Some people like to, if you get very oily in the T-zone. For television makeup, yes, we powder. But some of my actresses, I only powder once. So I'll powder them in the T-zone. But, my over 50 actresses, they don't want to be powdered. They don't want to have that look of being powdered and having a drier texture to the skin. So we tend to keep it glowier. And a lot of times I'll just powder once. And if they need it, after lunch or something, they need it, fine. But if you're running around during the day and you're a person that gets very oily in the T-zone, I find that setting with a powder puff, such as this, if you set with a powder puff, a lot of times with the brush, you can brush or move away your foundation. When you set it with a powder puff, it will just kind of pack gently. You gently pat it in and your makeup will last longer.
Oh, that's great. Now, how about dark circles under the eyes or puffy eyes? Do you have any tricks for that?
There are so many great remedies for puffiness. The roller is one of them, using a roller under the eyes. There's also a lot of my actresses that tend to get puffy before they come in for makeup. They have really great strips. They're called hydrating strips to go underneath the eyes, and you keep them on while you're driving in, or just when you wake up in the morning, when you're making your coffee. Just say you're a person that tends to get, puffy. You had a cocktail the night before, or you ate lots of salty tacos or something. You want to kind of reduce the swelling and the puffiness under those eyes. So what I would recommend is you can even take cucumbers and put them on the eyes. You can take frozen grapes. Frozen grapes is a great trick that I just learned about from Kim Douglas, one of my beauty actresses. And you take frozen grapes and put them under your eyes. And then, of course, if you have those dark circles, finding a concealer for each individual is tricky. That's something, once you find a concealer that you really love, that's something to hold on to. And it's very valuable because you want something that has enough coverage for the individual's dark circle. But you want it to be hydrating. You don't want it to be too sheer. So finding that perfect combination for your skin, once you find it, hold on to it.
You know what? It's so funny that you talk about the little strips underneath the eyes. I actually saw a picture of Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard in the car driving with those on.
I'm not kidding. It's 100% a thing. And they really work. They 100% work. They're awesome.
I'll put those in the link as well. So in the details.
For sure.
Now, you were saying that the eyebrows, you start with the eyebrows because they shape the face. So can you talk a little bit about eyebrows for us? Thicker, thinner, shaping the face?
I love this topic. You would think a lot of people start with foundation when they're doing their makeup. I'm going to tell you a trick that will change your makeup routine and really help you to kind of advance your look and help it. So the picture, you have a gorgeous picture. You have a beautiful picture of your family that you love, but it's just sitting there with no frame. So it's not, you take a frame and you frame the picture and it becomes beautiful and it becomes a whole different ballgame. So with the eyebrows, when I have someone sit in my chair, we always start with eyebrows. Now, you don't want to tweeze. There was a time where people were tweezing so thin that now everyone is filling in their eyebrows. When you have eyebrows on the thicker side, it's youthful. People are brushing them up. They are using gels to make them look bigger and thicker. So don't tweeze the eyebrows too thin. Leave them nice and thick and full. You want to have a little bit of shape and tweeze the center. But when you start, just say, I need to fill in your brows. Now, Michelle, you're blonde. So you have your eyebrows look great right now, but you probably, if you fill your eyebrows in, it changes a lot of things, because when you have blonde eyebrows, you can't really see them. So when you just add, I use both pencil eyebrow fillers and I use powder over it. So I use a little bit of the pencil and you fill in the eyebrow. And then when you fill in the eyebrow, it will instantly change the shape of the eye. It'll lift up the eye. It'll change the shape of the face. And then I just usually set it with a little bit of the brow powder, which just kind of completes the brows. So then after that, we move to the eyes. After brows, we move to the eyes. So then what you're essentially doing, we do eyes, shadow, mascara. If we're going to do lashes, you do lashes. And then lastly, you move to the foundation and the face. Because think about it. When you're doing eyeliner and when you're putting on eyeshadow, what happens when you're doing that?
Yes. Everything is sort of melting.
Well, when you put on eyeshadow and you do your liner, a lot of times it falls.
Yes.
So if you already did your foundation, what are you doing? You're wiping it away. You're going to clean it off.
Yes.
So if you do foundation last, you're conserving your foundation. You're not wasting the foundation, right? You're not wasting it. You're saving the foundation and you are saving that for last. So then it is completely fresh. Your eyes are done. Your eyebrows are done. Now you apply your foundation, your under eye concealer. And what I like to do is apply foundation all the way up to the eye, all the way underneath the eye area. And then your concealer, under eye concealer, your powder, your bronzer, your blush, and then you can do lips. And then
I love this routine. Before we move on from the eyes though, I wanted to ask you about eyeshadow. So in midlife, what is the rule? Matte or frosted eyeshadows?
You know, frosted is something that I think is a little bit stronger. So what I like to say, I like to stick with mattes and simplicity. Mostly using a nice nude, nice mattes, but you don't necessarily have to shy away from a shimmer as you get older, but it's the way you're applying it. Would I ever recommend to take shimmer all the way up to the eyebrow or all the way up to the eye? No, that's too much, I think, for anyone, even a 18-year-old. I think it's too much unless you're trying to, go for a look or it's a magazine feature. But there are very subtle shimmers that you can use above your lash line and just very subtly, even in the corners of your eye, just add a very slight shimmer that can be beautiful. And I have one of my favorite shimmers is a MAC color, and it's called Gleam. And it's a very subtle shimmer that you can use this for any age. And it's also in your application, Michelle. Your application, you wouldn't pack it on and make it look so shimmery. You would take your brush and just lightly brush it. And it's so subtle. And then just used a nice matte base and a little nice nude in the crease. But less is always more. And then you could always add with an evening look.
Well, that is great. And I'd love to talk to you about eyelashes. So, it's kind of all the rave right now to get false eyelashes, sort of permanent eyelashes in there. But I've heard some people can be allergic to them.
Yes.
So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about eyelashes, with what are the variances, and also magnetic eyelashes too.
We've actually had magnetic eyelashes on the show. Um, you know, I wouldn't personally use this every day. Um, my personal favorite lashes to use are the individual lashes. Individual short lashes are a lot of times, I don't know, Michelle, if you've ever worn eyelashes before,
Yeah.
but when you use the full strips, they're heavy and you feel it. And sometimes people feel they don't like the weight of it. It's uncomfortable and you feel almost, it makes your eyes hurt a little bit at the end of the day. If you can become really great at putting in individual lashes, they are my ultimate favorite thing. And you just put them and you almost weave them into in between your lashes and get very, very close to your lash line. I guarantee you will not feel like you have any lashes on. You I've had clients that have them on for days, for a week, and they just want to keep them on. They want to keep them in, but they're not permanent. It's just done with the Duo dark glue. I prefer the dark glue because it goes with the dark lashes. But the individual eyelashes make you feel great. There's no hurting in the eyes. They are so natural looking, but what they do is they lift up the eye. And especially there's a lot of people, there's a lot of women who have eyelashes that want to go straight down. And even with an eyelash curler, they still tend to want to go straight down. With individual eyelashes, it lifts up your eye. It just really adds to the beauty, but very subtle. And I love that. I love subtlety and less is more.
Yes. So with the mascara,
Yep.
um, are we still supposed to put mascara on our lower lashes as well?
Now, I'm a person who I don't smudge. So I do put mascara on my lower lashes. But I have clients that absolutely cannot. And it's kind of funny, but it's when you smile, the shape of your face and the way your under eye is set is the reason why some people can't do the mascara underneath, because when you smile, it hits your skin. And so you end up with the raccoon eyes and a big smudge. So if I have clients that have that situation, then I won't do it. And if it's calling for a look where we need it and we want to show, very dramatic looks underneath, then I would do waterproof. I would do waterproof to prevent the smudging. But on a daily basis, if you're a person who smudges, there's no need to do the underneath mascara. But if you're okay with it and the shape of your face allows it, then I love lashes. I think lashes are great. I think they're beautiful. Then you can add it if your skin and your face allows.
Now, what do you think about eyeliners? The
Mhm.
difference between a liquid eyeliner and a pencil eyeliner?
Well, Michelle, there's also a third eyeliner that is great in it to add to those two eyeliners, which I use all the time. And I think that if you try this trick, that you would be able to realize how long your eyeliner can last. So Stila is one of my favorite products to do this because you can use all of their eyeshadows wet or dry. And Stila was created by a makeup artist. Janine Lobel created Stila. So you can basically take a little eyeliner brush. It's very easy. You wet your brush, dip it in your eyeliner shadow, and you use it. And you can sweat, you can run around all day long, and it will not move because there's no wax in it. And a lot of pencils, there can be wax in the pencil, which makes it not last as long. The powders are incredible. And then you can also, if you are using a pencil, if you do use an eyeliner pencil, if you want to line the inside, you can also take the powders dry and make a smoky, beautiful eye and put it underneath or put it on top of a liner if you wanted to add a nice shimmering brown or shimmering gray or anything like that. But try that trick, Michelle, and I think you'll love it.
Oh, I'm
And
excited. I will
yeah.
definitely try that. Okay, so the last part that we haven't really talked about are our lips.
Mhm,
As we get
mhm,
older, our especially our top lip kind of gets a little thinner. What are
mhm.
your suggestions to give us aside from, getting injections to have a
Yeah.
little more fuller lip? And are there certain colors we should stay away from now that we're sort of 50 plus, or is it anything goes?
I'm so glad that you asked this question, Michelle. I have a favorite lip pencil that I love that I will show to you. I am going to let you know a trick first before I find that. I'll find that in a minute. I think the best thing to do for lips, and I've done it on many of my clients, is I like to take a really nice nude, almost a berry, almost on a pinker nude, and you fill in the entire lip. Okay, fill in the center. Don't just line the outside, because what this is going to do is create the illusion that you have a larger lip. So you're going to fill in. You can even line a little over jaw, and then fill in with a nice nude. And then you can put any kind of, just a little bit of a gloss. It doesn't have to be super glossy. But I think having your lips look hydrated also makes them look fuller. And just adding a nice little hydration to the lip. But that's a great trick. Great trick is adding the nude all over the lip.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to try that
You
for
have to try this and then show us.
sure. Oh my gosh, I love that. So, Michelle, this is amazing. Do you have any other, is there anything we haven't touched on that you would suggest that we need to do for our makeup? I mean, I love this framing our eyes, and I cannot wait to change the way I put my makeup on.
It'll make such a big difference, and you'll find that you're not running out of your foundation so fast. And it will really make a big difference once you get into that habit of starting with the brows and the eyes first and working your way down.
Okay.
And that'll really help. But honestly, I mean, beauty comes from within, and taking good care of yourself is that's the thing. Is 40 plus, it's about taking care of yourself, about having a healthy lifestyle, and that's going to enhance your makeup. Your beauty from within is going to enhance your skin. And then for me, less is more. You can always add. And top 3 items is the skincare. I would add my glow, my Retrove, and then a nice little foundation everywhere, little liner, mascara. Line your lips to make them a little. And also, Michelle, by filling in your lips with a nude pencil, it's going to make the longevity. It'll last all day, because you're filling it in. You're not just filling in the outside. So you're filling in the entire lip, and then just adding your little bit of gloss over it. So these are all little tricks to help your makeup last. But have fun with it. Makeup is fun. It makes us feel beautiful. And it's such a joy to try new things and experiment. Go outside of your box of what you would normally do, and just try something new.
Oh, that is great. Well, Michelle, I'm sort of springing on you this a little bit. I always ask
Yeah.
my guests one final question. What advice would you give to your younger self now? I know I'm sort of springing this on you.
I'm losing you a little bit, Michelle.
Oh, are you? Okay. Well, it's okay. I was just asking you, what advice would you give your younger self?
You are cutting out.
Oh, okay.
I lost you for a second, Michelle. You're frozen.
Oh no. Well, we got most of the interview. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Oh no.